Tonight on News 5 Live, disgruntled nurses stage protests across the country. Minister of Health and Wellness Kevin Bernard addresses the concerns being made in the public health sector. Assistant Commissioner of Police Aaron Guzman is set to take over reins as Regional Commander for Eastern Division. Carnival monarchy, a new king and queen are chosen. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new SmartStream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, SmartStream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with SmartStream.
Traveler, are you?
Everyone dreams. Whether it's buying a new home or a new car, taking that long, relaxing vacation, furthering your education, opening your own business, or when you need us the most. St. John's Credit Union makes it effortless to help you harness the power of your finances. We know that life's constant change demands financial flexibility. And at St. John's Credit Union Limited, we want you to be prepared. Become a member today so you can start your journey towards safe saving, smart borrowing.
St. John's Credit Union is the leader since 1946. They work harder.
Say hello to DigiTV. Step into the world of digital entertainment. DigiTV gives you access to 100+ channels on your TV or your mobile device at unbeatable prices. Take your shows with you wherever you go. It's a new level of freedom. Enjoy your favorite entertainment, sports, family, Latin, and local channels. No more fighting for the TV remote. You can access whenever you want from 2 devices at the same time. DigiTV is for everyone. And with the fastest fiber and mobile networks in the country, you are guaranteed to have the best experience ever. There's no installation required. Sign up for the Max package for only $40 monthly and get the first 2 months for just $30. For a limited time, get 50% off a Fire Stick when you sign up. Download the DigiTV app from the Android or Apple stores. Just WhatsApp us at 608-8888 to sign up. It's that easy. Watch, experience, enjoy DigiTV today.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSD, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, August 29th. I am Sabrina Daly. Nurses across the country have been staging walkouts in protest of poor working conditions and salary deduction. In light of these protests, the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Nurses Association of Belize issued a joint release following a meeting in Belmopan this morning. According to the statement, the meeting was held to address, quote, pressing issues confronting the nurses and the larger medical community, end quote. After 2 hours of discussion between the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Nurses Association of Belize, the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Labor, 5 resolutions were agreed upon. Those agreements are that the mode of calculation for overtime hours would be updated, and that short-hour deductions which occurred for the August pay period will be reverted back to all staff members. Additionally, further reconciliations will occur for the next pay period for any discrepancies which may have occurred during previous calculations. It was also agreed that the method for calculating sick leave and vacation leave will be reviewed. The public service regulations and the government workers regulations will also be reviewed to reflect regulations for shift workers. Minister of Health and Wellness Kevin Bernard elaborated on these points via Zoom. But before that, we take you to the nationwide protest that sparked all these changes with immediate effect. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Working conditions, more staff, less deductions.
Across the country, public health nurses walked out of their respective workplaces in protest against poor working conditions and salary deductions. The walkouts began on Saturday at around 4 p.m. with nurses at the Southern Regional Hospital.
It hurts us every day to have to come to a place knowing that the reason why we come is because we care for our patients. We really care for our patients. The hurt that we go through is deep.
This morning, nurses across the country, from the Corozal Community Hospital, the Northern Regional Hospital, the San Ignacio Community Hospital, and the Western Regional Hospital, staged similar protests.
We're all from the study leave program, the University of Belize midwifery program. We are here to support the nurses countrywide. We are here to stand with them and show our solidarity, show the country of Belize that we are not standing out here for a finance purpose, but we are standing out here for the service that we are out here to give. We are expected to give us services with low resources. People post on Facebook the service that they get. When they don't receive the service, they state that they received a bad service. But do they know what it is like for the nurses and doctors to come up with the resources, to fight for resources, to request for resources, to beg for resources? It is not easy.
Every month, our overtime is being cut. We are being told that we are owing hours. Nurses can't understand how we are owing hours when almost every week we're working 48 hours per week. And our regular hours is 40 hours. So if we're working 48 hours times 4 weeks, how could we be owing hours? And whenever the overtime comes in, it is always short. We are not being paid in full what we are being worked for, what we are working for, and we're tired of this. We're tired, right?
And how long would you say you guys have been working under those type of conditions?
For quite a long time. Not recently. This has been going on for quite a long time.
The president of the Public Service Union of Belize, Dean Flowers, was also at this morning's protest in front of the Western Regional Hospital.
What's hypocritical is that we were singing praises for them 2 years ago. We were applauding them. And in the same breath, we have continued to hold them hostage under the kind of inhumane and unsanitary and not the best working conditions. Some idiot from the Ministry of Finance passed a rule that nurses must give account of every single hour that they work. It's unfair for them to have to give account for every single hour, but the masses of public officers does not have to do so. They did not create their schedule. So the fact that you only have them working 36 hours for a specific week is not their fault. So you cannot turn around and penalize them and deduct from their substantive salary 4 hours. What about the average public officer who comes to work 9 and 10 o'clock? And you can go to all those ministries and look at them. And they still get their full pay.
You have people that came to a paycheck this end of month with $200. Attendance and PCAs that only received $200. How sad is that? We're already paying 25% tax. We're already paying 10% Social Security because they increased it. For what? So that they can give money to someone that probably doesn't even need instead of investing it in the health system.
Nurse Dorita Pineda, who is employed at the San Ignacio Community Hospital, noted that her colleagues were not protesting against the government. They were only demanding that those in power fulfill the promises made to make the necessary changes.
This is not a protest against the government. This is a protest for the government to come and stand with us and show us their support and show us what they promised. We asked for a change. And they're there because the people voted for that change. And we're just asking them.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
According to Minister of Health and Wellness, Kevin Bernard, prior to the events that occurred over the past 3 days, his ministry had met with the Nurses Association of Belize and subsequently wrote to the Ministry of Finance. He told reporters via Zoom that the nationwide protest caught him by surprise in light of prior meetings with the association. Nonetheless, Minister Bernard elaborated on the first 2 agreements made during today's meeting. Those agreements were in relation to an adjustment made to the calculation of overtime hours for shift workers and the return of monies deducted from nurses' salaries during the last pay period as a result of a short-hour deduction policy.
The overtime calculations will be based on a monthly, will be calculated on a monthly basis as opposed to every week or every day, where nurses and doctors and all shift workers, because remember now it's not only applicable to nurse and doctors. This affects all shift workers, attendants, domestic workers, everybody that and might not necessarily only be at the Ministry of Health, but could be from other ministries too. But the issue came up with the nurses. And so we have agreed with the Ministry of Finance that that calculation will revert back to where it was calculated monthly, so that not to affect a nurse who works on a shift basis, where they were being deducted hours if they did not complete the weekly amount according to what the details were provided to us. Now, I think that with that out of the way, the other issue was the short hour deduction that was made this past pay period for the August 2022 payroll. That immediately sent shockwaves, as I would put it, across the medical profession. And I don't give the nurses or the doctors or any of these frontline workers, shift workers, who, as I said in that meeting with the Ministry of Finance, are feeling it in their pockets. how can you expect these persons basic salary to be deducted and expect that they are to survive for the rest of the month? So my position and the ministry position, along with the Nursing Association of Belize, was that we revert that back immediately and that we reinstate those deductions. It was a very back and forth, very fruitful, however, where everybody understood. I know from the Ministry of Finance, we had people that deals with the payroll system there and all that. They had the issues with technicalities, and so that they believe that they have to look out how are we going to ensure that it hits it's outside of the period already. So they had to look at options. And so at the end of the day, we agreed that all those persons that had that short hour deducted will be paid by no longer than the 9th of September. We're hoping that they can be paid by Friday.
As for the complaint made by nurses about a lack of medication and medical supplies, Minister Bernard says government is working to improve the function of the Central Medical Service, CMS. Additionally, Minister Bernard noted that suppliers have already been called on to ensure that deliveries are made to the CMS in a timely manner.
There's many other issues that have been raised by the Nursing Association of Belize, and one of them having to do with the main problem as well, lack of medication, lack of medical supplies, and in some instances, they have mentioned that some areas they did not have gauze. But let me also say this to members of the media, that it is also a human factor when it comes to making sure that your inventories or requisitions are sent in on time. We recently conducted the tender process, as you are aware, where contracts have been issued to various suppliers. And we have made the call out to these suppliers from the past week to ensure that these deliveries can start coming on a timely basis. And that discussion was also had with the Nursing Association of Belize last week, Monday, where we made assurances that over the next 3 weeks, by the end of September, we should stabilize those issues, and the regions and all the various facilities should be getting their medication and medical supplies on a timely manner. We are also looking at the internal procedures in terms of how people make requests from the regions to the Central Medical Store and how timely that delivery is done back to the regions. And so those are things that we have been putting in place, ladies and gentlemen, and in order to improve the delivery of this type of service that we offer our people.
And on Tuesday, Minister Kevin Bernard is planning to visit the Southern Regional Hospital in Dangriga. Nurses there claim that they are being victimized by their administrative supervisor. Minister Bernard says he will be meeting with those nurses to hear their concerns.
I know that some of the nurses have been requesting that I pay them a visit personally. They want to speak to me personally, on a personal level, excluding the administrative staff, because they want to be able to express openly their challenges that they're facing at a local level. Sometimes it's not all the way at the top, but sometimes it's many of the issues, in fact, are generated at the local level. And that is where we have to go in as the ministry, as our new directors are now in place. They have to go in and assess the situation and get it fixed. And that's what we're going to do. We're starting tomorrow in Dangriga. That's where a lot of concerns are.
In Belize City, between 40 and 50 nurses who make up the KHMH Workers Union staged a protest this afternoon. They felt that the shortage of supplies also affects the work that they do, and they also had other issues, such as having no pension in place and their salary rates. News 5's Marian Ali was there and filed the following report.
The afternoon sun did not discourage these nurses from walking out onto the KHMH parking lot, where KHMH Workers Union President, Nurse Andrew Baird, addressed the media. Then they walked onto Princess Margaret Drive, where they paraded in front of the hospital bearing placards, before returning to their job a few minutes later.
This is not just a fight with the KHMH, but rather to the government of Belize, to say to them that they need to do better. They need to provide the equipment, the supplies that is needed for us to treat our patients or the users of the hospital, including medications. There's a shortage, but generally not just medication, but the simple tape that we use to do dressings. If I may just dig deep, this is what we use in the emergency room.
Baird reached into his pocket and pulled out 2 types of surgical tape that are used on patients. They are inadequate supplies, he said, that are used for minor dressings.
Even if I want to put a drip, as the layman would say in medical term, an IV on somebody, I need to have proper tape. I know that sometimes there's a bottleneck between the CSME and the and Carl Yushna. We need to fix that bottleneck.
Fellow nurse Darwin Slusher explained why Belizean nurses leave to work in developed countries.
I come out here every shift, even on my day off when my boss would call and say, you know, Nurse Slusher, we're short. We are out here as a team. So only we know what we go through and only we know what we feel. Earlier, the media asked a question, nurses are going overseas for better benefits. As a young nurse, there is no upward mobility. What does the government has to offer me to stay here in my country to provide the care that I must provide for my nation? There is none.
Slusher raised issues with the cost of living as well as the salaries that nurses make.
Income tax, sky high. 25%. How can you tell me as a healthcare worker serving the Belizean public that I owe $3,000 in a tax? I don't even make no money there. You're gonna grow. Listen, we just get paid today. How much are we done broke? I done broke.
Baird says that they have no pressing issue with collecting their overtime payments at this time. However, he criticized the government for what he and his colleagues feel is a government that is not putting health care at its highest priority.
This government is saying that the economy is at a point where to them it is okay. So we are saying now put the money where it's supposed to be in the health system. The government spent $38 million US and give it to Michael Ashcroft. $38 million US into Carl Yushna could probably give us a new hospital.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
Following today's meeting with government officials, we spoke briefly with Renita Pop, the president of the Nurses Association of Belize, and Oscar Requena, the Minister of Labor. Here is what they told us.
I would like to just say I'm grateful to the government of Belize, the Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Health for sitting down with us to express the pressing issue at hand, which was the salary deduction that nurses are currently faced with. There are some agreements that we came up to. The Ministry of Health will be doing a press release. We also will be consulting back on our membership. And I just want to say thank you to the other nurses from the public, private, and KHMH for standing in solidarity with the nurses and the general public.
I want to take the opportunity to thank the president of the Nurses Association and all the other certainly medical staff that were there, the Minister of Health, the CEO, as well as personnel from our Ministry of Labor and other persons who were present at the meeting. I think the atmosphere of the meeting went very well. It was a very cordial, very respectful meeting. And most importantly, we have found a way forward. This is the role of the government. The role of the government is to govern. And, in governing a nation, you're going to find that there are going to be issues that you have to address and as they come. I mean, of course, we have to be proactive. We always try to look at things ahead of time.
Coming up, a video of 3 policemen arresting a defiant civilian goes viral. Details when we return.
Belize, are you ready? Chance Promotions and Travelers Makers presents the biggest 9th-night concert ever staged at the Mariam Jones Stadium in Belize City. It's all going down on Friday, September 9th, featuring a young, versatile legend, the Prince of Reggae, straight out of Kingston, Jamaica, Christopher Martin. Joined by fellow Jamaican Tanya Stevens.
Well, anytime them see the van a rock and them see a girl a boom for your lap, tell them a me and you that we legal for do that.
Over the weekend and today, nurses in public health facilities countrywide stood up and stood together to let their voices be heard. We know and understand many of their concerns because even prior to this walkout, we had met with the Nurses Association of Belize and had subsequently written to the Ministry of Finance to find a solution. We can now report the following based on a productive meeting with the Ministries of Finance and Labour and the Nurses Association of Belize. Effective immediately, overtime hours, mode of calculation has been updated, where the timesheets will include monthly hours worked and monthly overtime hours worked. The calculation of the overtime payment will be done on a monthly basis. Short hour deductions, which occurred for the August 2022 pay period, will be reverted back to all staff as an interest-free advance and will be paid before the 9th of September 2022. A reconciliation will occur for the next pay period to identify and address any discrepancies which may have occurred due to the previous calculations done. The tool for the calculation of sick leave and vacation leave will be reviewed by the Ministry of Finance along with technical staff of the Ministry of Health and Wellness in coordination with the Nurses Association of Belize in order to standardize countrywide. A review of the PSR and GWR to reflect regulations for shift workers will commence. Where the issue of shortage of critical medication and medical supplies is concerned, the Ministry of Health and Wellness informs that those items are being received in country and are currently being disseminated countrywide. The Ministry will immediately conduct a critical analysis systems and personnel involved in the procurement of medication and supplies to ensure that these shortages do not reoccur. Where the issue of working conditions is concerned, let me be very clear. We can appreciate that resources are scarce, but I was shocked, like many others, I am sure, to hear one of our nurses in Dangriga speak about the experiences they face on a daily basis. I will personally, along with a team I have selected, to visit each of the facilities to speak to the nurses and staff. Whatever it takes, I commit that the matter of working conditions will be dealt with. You have my word. Finally, let me personally applaud our nurses for their principled stance. I am filled with pride that these critical frontline personnel, the foundation of our health system, did what they did. They are those, I am sure, who will gloat and find glee in where we are today. But I leave you with this message. For the record, today, thanks to our nurses and a government that listens, we will resolve these issues and fix a pandemic of mismanagement and neglect which has been allowed to thrive for far too long.
Your Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 4.
KTV.
Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive at $3 for children and $5 for adults. Mask will be required. Or you can watch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Aaron Guzman is set to take over the reins as Regional Commander for Eastern Division in the coming days. That's because Deputy Commissioner Desiree Magdaleno is retiring from the Belize Police Department after decades of service to law enforcement. The pending charges are part of a restructuring that will also see ACP Howell Gillett being replaced as the top cop in Belize City. Gillett has been serving as commander of Eastern Division for the past 8 months and is now being transferred to head the community policing unit.
Certainly we are making some changes. We have retirement in the pipeline. Deputy Commissioner Magdalena is retiring, and she goes on pre-retirement leave in September. And so with that, we will see ACP Aaron Guzman takes over as Deputy Commissioner, Commander Management, Commander Administration. And Mr. Gillett, as you know, is a community policing enthusiast. And with that, he will take over from Aaron Guzman as Officer Commanding Community Policing nationally. And Mr. Gilberto Romero, who was once at CIB Eastern Division and currently is the Deputy National Crimes Investigation Branch, will move over to Eastern Division as a new commander. We'll see Mr. Jones coming in from Dangriga and will take over as the Deputy HNCIB, and Mr. Morera, who is the commandant at the academy, will go to Dangriga as the OC Dangriga. So those are some of the changes we're seeing right now. Again, we have to make adjustments when we do have retirements and put our people in areas where they're best fitted in order for us to be able to get maximum results from them.
Well, Mr. Gillett has been in a position, I believe, only for 8 months. Don't you think this change shows some type of indecisiveness or lack of clarity?
It does not. It shows that we know what we're doing. He, as you would know, being in the media, you see him engaged in a lot of community policing efforts. And with the vacant post of OC community policing or commander, he's the best fitted person for that.
Amateur footage of a civilian being arrested by a trio of police officers who struggled to take him into custody has found its way to social media and has since gone viral. In the 30-second clip, the officers are forced to manhandle the individual who is seen putting up a resistance. This morning, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams commented on the video in the context of the challenges that officers are often faced with while on the job.
Certainly you know that it's nothing new to policing. Oftentimes officers encounter resistance when trying to take persons into custody. And while many a times the videographer would not capture what the civilian would do, but they capture what the police do, or on occasion they would edit the video to make it seem that the police is a bad one. This time we actually saw a video that depicts everything, and so it's a eye-opener, I hope, to the public to understand that it is extremely difficult for officers at times when trying to detain some persons. Yes, there are occasions when some people would easily concede to being arrested, but there are occasions when we do have resistance and police have to apply the best possible measure to deal with the situation without causing injuries to a person or persons.
The 30-day state of emergency for a handful of young men believed to be actively involved with 2 feuding Belize City gangs is coming to an end. Over the past 4 weeks, a sense of calm has been restored in the Lake Independence community after police rounded up as many as 31 individuals and locked them up at the Belize Central Prison. The mass detention was made in the wake of a simmering rivalry that resulted in several persons being injured and at least 1 man being executed. Here's Commissioner of Police Chester Williams.
Yes, we're coming to the end of it. And the LIU, the Human Development, Community Rehab, and a number of other organizations have been in dialogue working with these young men while in prison, all in an effort to try to see how they can resolve the ongoing tension between them. And there is no intent at this time to extend the SOE. We believe that they have come to some resolution, and we anticipate that with their release, things will continue as is. Certainly, if we see that they want to wear their ugly heads again, then we'll do what needs to be done to protect the greater good of society and the law-abiding among us.
The United Democratic Party staged a protest in Belize City last Tuesday. despite not getting approval from the Belize Police Department to proceed with the demonstration. The opposition took to the streets of the old capital to protest against steep gas prices as well as the overall cost of living under the Briceño administration. Despite the procession being held without a permit to gather, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams said that it went without incident.
My friend, Mr. Perifeet, is a very colorful fellow, I must say, and he always have his own views about things. Sometimes I wonder where he get those views from, but that's him. It was my instruction to the officer commanding Eastern Division not to grant the permit for protest. The law empowers the Commissioner of Police and nobody else. And as the Commissioner of Police, I saw it fit that it would not have been prudent to hold a protest in the era of a gas station. We have seen where recently people are acting out, acting violently, and if it is that you have a protest in the era of a gas station and the organizers of that protest cannot control the crowd, as you know that these protests do at times harbor those persons who would not listen to what the organizers would say and may do what they want and use the opportunity of the protest to do so. And so it was with that spirit that I had denied the permission to protest. Can you imagine those protesters would leave and go to the gas station and create havoc? It would be a disaster in Belize City. So that was the reason why. Notwithstanding that, they went through the protest, and I know that Uncle P was hoping to be arrested so that he could use his arrest as a form of a political statement and to gain public sympathy. And so I gave instructions to my officers that if it is that they want to protest, even though they have no permit, we will leave them to protest. And we're just going to ensure we do the necessary policing to ensure that law and order is maintained.
An article in a UK publication citing the latest episode with Jasmine Hartin and the Belize Police Department has Compal Williams balking at the statement that was reportedly made by the Canadian national. The statement alleges that there was a plot to execute Hartin upon leaving a police station where she was being held. Here's the commissioner's response.
That's the most stupidest comment I've ever heard. How would the officers tell her that she's released to shoot her? If that were to happen, the officers certainly will not have a way out of that, and they would be charged for murder. I don't foresee officers doing that. And I read the article, and she said that they were trying to let her out through the back door of the cell. The cell block have no back door. They have one way in, one way out. So again, it goes to show that what she said is a bunch of nonsense, all in an effort to gain some support or traction in international media domain. And I don't think anybody in their right mind would believe what she has said.
After the break, senators debate reappointment of Dorothy Bradley as Auditor General. We'll have that and more when we come back.
Belize, are you ready? Chance Promotions and Travelers Makers presents the biggest ninth-night concert ever staged at the Marion Jones Stadium in Belize City. It's all going down on Friday, September 9th, featuring a young, versatile legend, the Prince of Reggae, straight out of Kingston, Jamaica, Christopher Martin. Joined by fellow Jamaican Tanya Stevens.
Well, in the time them see the gonna rock and them see a girl a boom for your lap. Tell them a me and you that we legal for do that.
Elsie Constanza. I'm a pediatrician and neonatologist. I work at the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit at Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital Authority and at Northern Medical Specialty Plaza. Like other vaccines, few persons may present with reactions. Vaccines are safe. Get protected. Get vaccinated.
Make your summer better. Over $35,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Purchase any device, sign up for a Smart Postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan, use $50 or more regular prepaid credit, do a SIM swap, or text to the short code. You win 8946. And in the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase. Each entry costs only 50 cents.
Don't waste any time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes starting July 1st. All methods give you more chances to win. Airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize of a $10,000 shopping spree courtesy Court and Smart.
Promotion ends September 16, 2022. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Creamos un concepto que denominamos quirófano santuario no COVID.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Belize Tropical Hemp Company Limited introduces its new CBD products. CBD milk chocolate and CBD dark chocolate. Vegan, gluten-free with no GMO. CBD oil, 100% natural, provides many health benefits such as relieving pain and anxiety and improved heart health. Hemp cigarettes come in a pack of 10 natural hemp smokables. CBD seaweed, natural and refreshing, rich in vitamins and minerals. All products are produced and packaged by Belize Tropical Hemp Company Limited.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway, from Roaring Creek to Esperanza, has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times, and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Reusable plastics. Did you know that until we find an alternative for plastic and all its uses, we will continue to need plastics, such as in the health sector? Plastic becomes a huge problem for Belize when it becomes waste and is improperly disposed of. When it is thrown on the side of the road and in our rivers and seas, it's eaten by animals and in turn by people, and it becomes an environmental and health issue. It costs us money for disposal, filling up dumps and landfills, and paying for associated healthcare. So what can you do? Choose to refuse single-use plastics is step 1. Step 2, instead, use the plastics that were meant to be reused, like coffee cups, water bottles, and food containers. We're not talking about buying a $1 bottle of water. I mean, you can, but how long will that last you? Reusable plastics keep plastics out of the environment for a much longer time and are even better than other forms of plastics like biodegradable or even compostable or bio-based plastics. By reusing, you are also saving money since you aren't rebuying the same thing over again. Think about it. How many bottles of water do you buy every week? How much does that cost compared to the cost of a reusable bottle? Imagine what you can do with the extra money. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
The Senate met today to debate the Belize International Services Limited BISL settlement bill. The bill calls for the payment of $76 million by the government to BISL after the Caribbean Court of Justice ruled that the previous government had breached an agreement it had with the company and ordered that the matter be remitted to the Supreme Court for assessment of damages. Costs were awarded in favor of BISL. The current government has settled on the figure disclosed, but today the Senate debated on whether Belize could afford to pay that sum now. Various senators had their reasons for thinking differently, but at the end of the day, the upper house voted in favor of the payment.
In July of 2020, 3 months before the UDP left office, the Caribbean Court of Justice handed down a decision in which it said the United Democratic Party's taking over of the registry was illegal, unlawful, and a commercial and administrative coup d'etat. The CCJ said the government of Belize must pay BISL damages for the 7-year extension.
This is a poor country, but we could do a lot better than we've been doing. But when we give away our gift, the way we did with the BISL arrangement, when we put priority in areas where it shouldn't be, when we support person or a few companies at the expense of the population, I think it's wrong, Madam President. I think that we should do a lot better than that.
We are now a sovereign state, and we can make responsible decisions, and we do not take kindly to people bending our arm and forcing us to say yes to things we know will hurt our young people 15, 25, 30 years down the road. We have to be responsible leaders, Madam President.
If it was not for this $76 million, nurses would be quiet, because they understand the sacrifice. We are a good people. We understand that we need to sacrifice. They were sacrificed during the pandemic. Nurses, doctors, frontliners, and this is how they get paid. Shorter pay, long time to pay, but yet we are here finding $76 million to pay to BISL. I mean, I'm not saying not paying it in no way, shape, or form. We need to pay it. We need to respect that. It is there. The CCJ has ordered it, so therefore we gotta pay it. But all I am asking on behalf of the people of this country, let's get a softer payment plan.
I hope we learn that persons engage in these signing of agreements in secret, that we put things in place to hold those persons accountable, that they be held responsible for the pain that they are putting our people through. And so if that means that we must enact some laws, we must amend our constitution to include those things, those are things that we must be doing going forward.
The color of the context is so important, so that when we look at these things, it is not just that we signed an agreement and we got into an arrangement and now we're stuck, we have to pay. It is that we need to realize that when you look at these things, we have to look at the full picture. The details matter. And how is it that this agreement was signed on a Good Friday, and now we're at the point where we have to pay millions and millions of dollars at a time when we can least afford it, when we're just trying to get back up on our feet and move forward.
The 2-year contract that was awarded to Dorothy Bradley to serve as Acting Auditor General effective September 1st was another issue that the Senate debated today. Bradley had served in that capacity under the Barrow administration from September 2011 until December of last year, when she reached the retirement age of 55. Prior to that, she had served as Accountant General, as well as Chief Elections Officer and as Supervisor at the General's Sales Tax Department. The Bersenu administration awarded the contract to Bradley on the basis that the Audit Department has been without an Auditor General since that time, and also on grounds that it could not source someone who possesses the qualifications for serving in that capacity. The current government has cited achievements that Bradley has realized during her tenure, including the drafting of updated legislation which allows the Auditor General to function independently of the executive arm of government. Findings of investigation carried out by her office from 2011 to 2013 also exposed corrupt activities at the Department of Immigration and Nationality and irregularities thereafter at the National Sports Council. And last year, the U.S. State Department's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs honored Bradley with its Anti-Corruption Champions Award. But today, the Senate debated Bradley's reappointment as Auditor General. Among the debaters was Veronica Camara, who sat in as temporary senator in today's session for UDP Senator Michael Perifete, and also shared her views on the matter.
The United States Department of State awarded her the anti-corruption, or made her an anti-corruption champion. Now that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. As a matter of fact, it was under her leadership, Madam President, that many corrupt practices were unveiled. She did her job without fear or favor. Auditors generally are not liked, especially when it comes to auditing public service. They're not liked, but she's not there to be trouble to anybody there. She's there to get a job done.
And I'm willing to support her appointment here this morning based on the fact, as was mentioned, that as a country we have to continue to press for accountability at every level. Yes, we must be concerned about succession planning. And I think that is extremely important. It cannot be that we have to go back to a person to ask them to take up a task after his or her tenure has been completed. And yes, I would be concerned that as we go forward, that succession planning will have to kick in. But as I stand here this morning, Madam President, and as I stand in the Senate, I'm prepared to support the appointment.
We must, as we represent workers of this nation, we must share some of the concerns that the workers have shared with the NTUCB. And I know that we may say, well, there should be no worries, or there should be no fear, that persons should be open and willing enough to share concerns or to stand up for injustices when they see them. But that is not always as easy as it may seem. As a matter of fact, when we pay attention to what happens in our country, how many of us are fearful of standing up for what is right? And so I am sure that we have heard earlier complaints that employees would have had as it relates to the Auditor General when she was Auditor General. And these complaints have come to us. And as a matter of fact, as Senator Bengoshe said earlier, we too have received calls as it relates to this matter, where persons are concerned about the professionalism in their explanation of this person. They are also concerned with the way employees are being treated and the number of issues that have come up during the tenure of this Auditor General.
While nurses have been protesting since weekend, there was also a walkout at IT Vet Corozal today. The faculty and staff at the Institute for Technical and Vocational Education and Training in the North sent out messages from over the weekend claiming that some of them have not been paid for months and that they have not been provided with the tools to carry out their duties. Minister of Education Francis Fonseca responds to this.
We are aware of the situation. We inherited a very broken system as it relates to the payment of teachers, especially in our IT vet sector. They're paid on contract. So we are aware of the situation in Corozal. We have been engaged with the chairman, the staff representative, the manager of the Corozal IT vet. And those discussions will continue today. So the CEO and the chief are working on it. They're seeking to address the concerns. There are valid, legitimate concerns being expressed by the instructors, the IT vet instructors. So we really have to take a really critical look at the entire IT vet structure, and I think fundamentally reform that structure. You know, we have these instructors on one-year contracts, and that is not an effective way of doing this type of work. So we are addressing it. It's, as you will appreciate, it's not a matter that just involves the Ministry of Education. It also involves, you know, getting approvals from Public Service and Ministry of Finance. And, so we are taking steps to address some of these issues. And I believe that, you know, if not today, in the very, very near future, we'll have these issues resolved to the benefit of the instructors.
When we return, a look at the Belize Education Sector Plan. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Carnival is back on the streets again, and the best seat in the house is right here on Channel 5. Tune in on Saturday, September 3rd at 1 p.m. to catch our coverage featuring all things Carnival, from the King and Queen competition to mass camps to Juve, and leading up to this year's Road March. We'll bring you the sights and sounds of this year's Carnival live on Channel 5 and streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Don't miss Carnival Road March 2022, live on 5.
Welcome to Design Depot, all in one place. Shop brands you know and trust, like Kohler. Welcome, GE Appliances.
Welcome.
Oran Windows.
Welcome.
Tiles from around the world.
Welcome.
Sherwin-Williams Paint and Coatings. Visit us today at Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway or call us at 223-3768. Design Depot, all in one place.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Garantizamos contener a los pacientes que allí estamos manejando y disminuir riesgos de infecciones para el resto del hospital.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Your Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 4. KTV! Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive at $3 for children and $5 for adults. Mask will be required. Or you can watch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Today at the Biltmore Plaza in Belize City, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology held a press conference on the activities of the past year to revolutionize the Belize education system since the new administration took office in November 2020. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
The Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology has been working towards the reformation of the education system. The transformation to ensure that education works for all children has been shared with stakeholders ahead of the 2022 school year.
I am sure that the schools who have commenced the 2022 school year have welcomed their students with much anticipation as they begin to prepare today's learner to be tomorrow's leaders. While the past 2 years have been challenging, this year offers a chance for renewed energy and increased opportunities for our students.
The Belize Education Sector Plan includes a collaborative approach to learning, the Teacher Learning Institute, the Education Upliftment Project. Together We Rise with Gwen Lizarraga High School, Excelsior High, Maud Williams High School, and Sadie Vernon High School. There's also the National Health Start Feeding Program, the 501 Academy, which is the learning hub of Belize.
Transforming teaching and learning, critically important, critically important. That's where you heard today about the Teacher Learning Institute and about national curriculum reform and the new framework that we have launched. That is how we go about transforming teaching and learning, making sure that our students in the classroom are learning what matters, that our teachers are teaching what matters. The central objective of this work is to create an education system that produces students, that produces citizens who will be equipped with the knowledge, the skills, the information, the values, the attitudes, which will allow them to lead meaningful, productive, positive lives. That is at the core of the work that we do. That is ultimately the objective of education. If that's not your goal in education, to produce quality citizens, then you're wasting time.
Over the past year, the COVID-19 pandemic has fostered resiliency in the education system, allowing for digital learning across all levels. While mask wearing is no longer mandatory, it is still being encouraged.
Vaccinations are still available for children 5 to 11 years old, as well as for persons 12 years and older. We take this opportunity to encourage parents to get their children vaccinated to help them to keep safe and healthy. It is our priority to ensure that our students come out of this pandemic stronger than ever before.
Sectors such as early childhood development and special education are also being identified as pillars in the education system. Therefore, the ministry has honed in on inclusiveness and ensuring that differently abled persons are also engaged in the classrooms.
We have been able to execute successfully, actually not just for the first 2 weeks of August, but since the beginning of this calendar year, an unprecedented number of trainings in special education. Trainings that are geared toward teachers, geared toward parents in some cases, and even the parent trainings are attended by teachers. There has never been in this country as much formalized attention that has been put toward raising awareness and helping to support the teachers who are in the classroom managing the students with special education needs, as has been done over the past few months.
Gone are the days when we made decisions for our students without them having a voice, without them having a seat at the table. Young people have to be respected as well. Their voices have to be respected. They have to be heard. Everything we do is about our students. All of us are working for them, so we have to listen to them.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The 2022 school year begins with a new national curriculum framework that focuses on the competency-based education of students, which is being piloted in all pre-primary, primary schools and several secondary institutions. As Education Minister Francis Fonseca has said previously, the aim is for the new curriculum to be implemented nationwide by January 2023 across all schools. But there have been some teachers who say that they have not received access to the curriculum, including lesson plans and the requisite assessment structure. Today, Chief Education Officer Yolanda Gongora clarified the rollout of the new curriculum, saying that a memo has been issued to all school managements and principals with specific dates for access.
I sent out, as a Chief Education Officer, a memorandum circular to all schools in June indicating that the memo has the dates that all the units and assessments would be uploaded, and they are all at the end of the month. So, for example, for September and October, they will receive the unit plans and assessments for those 2 months, the 31st of August. And then in October, they would be receiving the one for November and December, and it goes on like that. So a circular was sent out to all schools, so I just would like to ask if principals have not circulated, if they can do so that the teachers are aware that there are designated dates that we will be uploading the units and assessments on our portals, as well as providing it to our managing authorities. Remember, this is a transition year. And as we go about the months, we will be understanding what are the challenges we are experiencing and be able to do, a better job the following month.
Let's catch up. A summer program from the Ministry of Education which intends to minimize the learning gap that was created as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic has concluded. Today, ministry officials also gave an update on the success of the program and how the students are being reintegrated into the new school year.
We have had testimonials from a number of parents who have said that they feel their child or their children who participated are in a better position starting the school year. In addition to that, though, I want to say that our teachers would be in a better place as it relates to the unit plans that will be soon uploaded on our school portal. That will add, and the assessments that will also be provided to our teachers will allow our teachers to be able to identify the different gaps in the different levels and then adjust their lesson plans to incorporate those gaps within the unit plans.
The Let's Catch Up Summer Camp program was unprecedented in many ways. One of the important things to remember is not only was it an 8-week-long program, obviously delivered in so many ways, but it also focused on foundational reading and math skills. And school hasn't started yet for primary schools. So nobody knows for sure what the effect is. As the chief reported, what we have are anecdotal evidence, if you will, that's coming from people whose children have participated. But school doesn't technically start for primary schools until September 5th. So it's after that time that we'll really begin to note whether there have been any visible changes or improvements.
Over the weekend, a basketball tournament was held by the Ministry of Home Affairs that brought together young men from various parts of the city, as well as well-known media personalities across radio and television. The event pitted a team led by Minister Kareem Musa against a team led by Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. The Compol could not attend the tournament for personal reasons, but told the media nonetheless that it was a success.
The event went well, and it was all done with the view of making sure that we get the younger people, and in particular those young men who are involved in the street feuds, to come together and have fun with us, all in the spirit of peace. And I noticed that Team Kareem took advantage because I was not there. If I were there, I'm certain that Team Kareem would not have won. I am the Michael Jordan to my team, but I was not there. So they won, and I believe that it was all done in good spirit. We have ministers participating. Other than Mr. Musa, we had other ministers there.
Just ahead, meet the winners in the Battle of the Giant Costumes 2022.
Carnival is back on the streets again, and the best seat in the house is right here on Channel 5. Tune in on Saturday, September 3rd at 1 p.m. to catch our coverage featuring all things Carnival, from the King and Queen competition to mass camps to Juve, and leading up to this year's Road March. We'll bring you the sights and sounds of this year's Carnival live on Channel 5 and streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Don't miss Carnival Road March 2022 live on 5.
I'm on my way to Benny's, where I can get what I need and save some money. After 75 years in the business, nobody do it like Benny's. Hello, how may I help you? Anything you need, we got you. Whether it tools or tiles, lights and fans, we are serving with a smile. Genuine plumbing and electric supply, quality construction supply, heating and air condition, 100% Belizean. Benny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings. Quality and savings. Benny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings. Quality and savings. Benny's, celebrating 75 years. Quality and savings. Quality and savings.
When all hope is lost and the days ahead look grim, we find ourselves looking for someone to shake things up, rescue us, and point us in the right direction. What if the one we've been waiting for has been here all along? Join us for our new series, Troublemaker, as we learn about a man who wasn't afraid to stand up for what's right to make this world a better place.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today. Your Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 4. KTV. Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive at $3 for children and $5 for adults. Mask will be required. Or you can watch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Carnival is back. Back on the streets again, and the best seat in the house is right here on Channel 5. Tune in on Saturday, September 3rd at 1 p.m. to catch our coverage featuring all things Carnival, from the King and Queen competition to mass camps to Juve, and leading up to this year's Road March. We'll bring you the sights and sounds of this year's carnival live on Channel 5 and streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Don't miss Carnival Road March 2022 live on 5.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today. Your Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 4. KTV. Come on out and win fabulous prizes and the chance to compete in our halftime challenge. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive at $3 for children and $5 for adults. Mask will be required. Or you can watch it live on Channel 5 or streaming on Facebook. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Carnival is back. Back on the streets again, and the best seat in the house is right here on Channel 5. Tune in on Saturday, September 3rd at 1 p.m. to catch our coverage featuring all things Carnival, from the King and Queen competition to mass camps to Juve, and leading up to this year's Road March. We'll bring you the sights and sounds of this year's Carnival live on Channel 5 and streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Don't miss Carnival Road March 2022 live on 5.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Carnival season is in full swing, and over the weekend, the Battle of the Giant Costumes raged on at the Belize City Civic Center. While the competition does not have an influence on the final score for the Road March, the King and Queen competition is always a spectacle. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
On Saturday night at the Belize Civic Center, 5 junior bands and 3 senior bands who will partake in the 2022 Carnival Road March brought out the big guns for a Battle of the Giant Costumes. The elaborate and intricately designed kings and queens for this year embodied everything from resilience during the pandemic to honoring the frontline workers and the Blue Bond. It was a kaleidoscope of colors and movement, a celebration of the return of the festivities. Meet the junior band leaders who break down the theme of their giant costumes.
The theme for this year's Carnival Road March is Stronger Than Pink. The reason I chose that theme is because as a country we have been experiencing a whole lot of drama, I should say. Queen Irene, as you know, there is a peace sign above her head, so she's basically the queen of peace and hope. And like I explained earlier, we're trying to focus more on positivity rather than negativity.
My king is representing the frontline workers, right? The doctors, the nurses, the EDA, and of course, Chester, the policemen, right? They were the people that kept us together. My queen is Queen John, right? She's the spirit of Carnival, right? When a child first grew up, the first thing they learn is scribble and write and scribble and and after scribble they learn the basic, which is ABC 1, 2, 3, and how they learn it through crayons, right? So that is why we have Queen Creola. Our king will represent the recess, and also a tribute to the drinks, the food, and everything you have while you're on recess.
Queen Natia was nothing but destruction, hatred, famine, evil. They both came from the city of Kaluma, which had no revolution, no freedom, weapons, nothing but a fight. Queen Natia represents, she's nothing, she's prepared to anything that comes her way.
King
Suzu
is the king of hope. King Arachna, Black Widow Spider. I cast sadness and heal to all.
The newcomer in the mix of junior bands is Bacchanal Mass Band. Its leader is Kalman Hall.
My team is One Caribbean, One Nation, and what I thought about was the Caribbean countries that do Carnival, right? So what I decided to do is my first section being Belize, because we live in Belize, right? And in Belize we do Carnival, right? Every September we look forward to a Carnival. And then I decided to do Trinidad because Trinidad was the founder of Carnival, right? So I linked those two together, and that is where I came up with Belize and King Trinbago.
In the battle of the senior bands, Modern Nature Creations, Soca Mocha and Trench Tongue Masqueraders fought for the top spot.
My queen representing love and happiness celebration. She is, that's for the third section in my Carnival band. Oh, my king is the male Black Widow Spider. He's King Arachna. He's here to destroy, like the corona. Belize is Belize and we are back.
But the Queen Atia
and King Danny are the two main characters of the story, The Revival. This queen, although she looks like the blue whale, is really a metaphysical embodiment of water, representing our new economy, the blue economy. The king now is actually representing time. The black half represents night. The white half represents day. The rainbow splashed across it represents the various depths of life, hope, happiness, joy.
First place in the junior category went to Soca Massive for both King and Queen, with Pickstock taking second place for King and Jump Street Posse third. For Queen, second place went to Jump Street Posse, with Collett Royal Revelers coming in third. In the senior competition, Mother Nature Creations snagged both first place for King and Queen. Trenchtown came second for Queen, with Soca Mocha third. In the King category, Soca Mocha placed second and Trenchtown third.
Tune in on Tuesday for the highlights from day one of Mass Camp 2022. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.